part of what we talk about in a lot of our shows is it's not necessarily the upsell, but the complete sale. Okay? Many times customers come in and they want to get a centerpiece. And they say, well, what type of centerpiece would you like? And it's more like an artificial piece. Part of that sale is offering them all the choice available. Here, David, I'm sorry, has taken his beautiful baskets and added some of the orange sunflowers, some lotus pots, some of the artificial fruits. He's added pears in the center, and then added a little bit of pine cones. So that arrangement can transition right from October to November, even into December, right? We don't have to just pull this out because it's for the Thanksgiving holiday season. We can keep this out a little bit longer. I think that's a great idea. Helps you last a little bit longer. There's beautiful berries. And the tones of the berries, the greens and the burgundies. In a few minutes, I'm going to show you how you can do that. If you just have some cheap green berries, and you want to add a little bit of anthocene or a little bit of a tint to it, I'll show you how you can do that very easily. Okay? And then, using the artificial branches, you can play with it a little bit, give it some line, give it a little bit of movement, and it's not so stiff. See how the branches give it some movement? Sometimes we use the artificial branches and everything's just like really harsh, very direct lines. Nothing wrong with it, but the right time in the right place, right? What else do we have? It's a beautiful one. David's taken some grapevine orbs and centered them in a basket. There's something down deep. You see that? It's beautiful. Then he's added some white berries, some snowberries, right? That he's added to the arrangement. Again, an element that allows you to leave this arrangement out a little bit longer and transition a little longer into the winter months, not just for the fall, September, October, November. Just add a little bit of the raffia. Get away from the raffia. We're seeing a real strong upsurge to ribbon this year. You'll see it on the shelves out there. We probably have 32 feet of novelty ribbon now. That's a ton of ribbon. We've got all different types, wired, not wired. We have some natural ribbons, like a burlap, sage green, very different natural colors to be working with. But anyway, just finish that off. I used a couple of the pods as well, one on each side. This is one of my favorites. David's taken the gourds and sunk them, just very simple living arrangement, right? With 3 of the large gourds in the little basket. And then he's added a little bit of the sponge mushroom treatment to that. The Tarzan vine, very popular. It just kind of naturally wraps itself. David's added it to the handle of the basket with a little bit of the sheet moss, a little bit of the artificial foliage, a little bit of achillea or yellow garlic, and that's natural and dry. Now, if you have a fresh shop as well, you can take that fresh achillea, use it, and it'll naturally dry in your arrangement. You don't have to necessarily wait for it to dry. And it dries very nicely because the Sahara or John Henry foam draws the moisture out of the garlic and then helps it retain its color. Just a nice different arrangement. And it's fun whether it's sitting up higher on a shelf, low on a table, or very low on a coffee table that you can look down at. Now what Tim has done for me is he's brought the other gourds out. We have them in the other colors. So we have them in the mustard yellow and a very festive red or green color as well. And they run about $6.50 each. So if you have a neat basket at home, very large basket you like to work with, you could just set 3 of these in that basket, just have a fun item all by itself without actually designing or doing anything. We saw this basket when we were in Atlanta last year. I love it. And I call it a bowl or a trough. David is glued right into it, but you can actually take a piece of plastic and lay it down so that you can change this basket seasonally and use it for a nice fall arrangement. Maybe turn it into a beautiful Christmas centerpiece with just ornaments laying in it. And then come springtime, you can change these over to tulips and iris and lilies and have just a really vibrant spring arrangement as well. Perhaps you could take three different clay pots and glue them in, right? And then inside the clay pot could be this arrangement that comes out, and you could do that same thing. For the winter time, maybe you could have a Christmas cactus and a couple of amaryllis, and then in the spring again, as I mentioned, the tulips. Isn't that beautiful? They did a great job. And really, one of the things I'd like you to notice about the arrangement is it's not just a vertical arrangement that you can do this way, but David's got some treatments inside, so it's visually appealing as a horizontal arrangement as well. Again, no matter if it's a little bit higher up or very low on a table, there's something to look at. David's added with the silk flowers, he's used that artificial eucalyptus. And actually, that's not silk, it's plastic. It's got a plastic sheet. Holds up really nice. And then some more dry pots just sunk in there. Jerry? I don't like to do this because oftentimes, when we do these shows, we have arrangements that are already made up. I don't like to cheat, but I really like this piece. But it was done in a wicker basket, and it's for the wall. It's been sitting on the wall just outside my house. And I'm sorry, Kim made this one. These basic wicker baskets are beautiful. Just throw some boards in, put some ornaments, whatever, lay it on a table. Maybe give it as a gift basket with some fresh baked goods or something like that. But they also make wonderful wall pieces. It gives you, many times when you're doing a wall piece, you'll see some things that are very flat. Oftentimes when I'm teaching a class, I talk to students about depth and perception. The nice thing about this wicker basket is it automatically gives you some depth to work with, right? You start along the back wall, and then you have to work your way out of the arrangement to give it some visual depth and appeal. So I'd asked Jerry to bring this down when the show started. It was just a few sunflowers, some curly willow. Kim's taken the Chinese lantern and glued it to the curly willow so that it gives it a little bit different look. And here's one of the wicker trays. Actually, it's more of a tray, right, than a basket. But wouldn't this be wonderful with a grouping of candles just setting on a table? We have them in three different sizes. This is the medium size. They're not in the wicker aisle. Unfortunately, they're in the very far back left corner of the warehouse. So I just wanted to mention those two. Aren't those spiders awesome? The branchy look, again, I don't know if you remember from the wedding show earlier in the spring, very popular. If you Google search wedding centerpieces, you're going to get a lot of different looks with branches. Using branches in a cylinder container is the style that we're seeing is one of the most popular growing styles for the season. And David's carried that right into the Halloween theme as well. We have some of these wicker birdhouses. I thought they look really unusual, very different. We have some small bottles that are wrapped or woven into the wicker as well. We just added a little bit of treatment with this, some silk flowers. These are little mushrooms. I know that sounds funny, but trust me, they're dried mushroom stems with some pine cones added to it. You'll see a whole line of mushroom items that we've found for this year. We have some small trees, small houses, little cottage houses that look like they just came out of a little Charles Dickens story, which you can hang on the tree. Very good price points, right around $3, and they're made out of dried mushrooms. So when I say that, they really are. They dry the mushrooms and then they slice them to use as the decoration for the item. And then just to add a little bit of dried bottom. So we have 3 different sizes. This is the medium size, and then we have a couple of squat ones as well.